Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open in the Congo with a search for diamonds on the foothills of a volcano. The expedition leader Charles has brought along a diamond-powered communication device which can double as a laser gun. His father Mr. Travis owns the company funding this venture to Africa and is monitoring the mission from the head office in Texas. Charles' ex-girlfriend and former CIA operative Karen is among the team in America when the satellite feed suddenly drops out. He didn't get a chance to tell them that they've found the ruins of an ancient city that they believe surrounds King Solomon's mine. When some dude named Jeff enters an overgrown temple to retrieve his bag, Charles waits outside and eats a Hershey's bar that's used to track him later. Just then Jeff's eyeball gets thrown at Charles by a large gray gorilla that throws a whole head later, so I think it just likes throwing. An entire troop of these aggressive primates emerge from their kennels and slaughter the expedition team off screen. Eventually the satellite reconnects, allowing Control to see several dead bodies and get a glimpse of the ugly apes before one destroys the camera. Travis has a conspiracy theory about a hairy rival communications company hunting his team, so sends Karen to finish what his son started. She makes Travis promise that he's sending her there for his son and not simply for diamonds, so he's like, yeah sure, whatever, just go. Meanwhile at the university, primatologist Peter is teaching an 8-year-old gorilla named Amy how to paint. His assistant Richard says that she's been constantly painting the same eyeball surrounded by trees, but Peter's a little busy. He straps a backpack and glove to Amy and demonstrates to a crowd of his peers how it translates sign language into a digitized voice.
Amy, good, gorilla.
A Romanian philanthropist named
Herkermer Homolka
takes interest in the project and has in his possession a ring featuring the same eye from Amy's paintings. She's been having nightmares about her ugly counterpart, so Peter is concerned for her psychological well-being. He thinks that because she's painting a jungle that she wants to visit Africa, but the university refuses to fund a trip. He's desperate to get her help, so is willing to accept a stranger's offer to fund an expedition from Herkermer Homolka. Peter, Richard and Homie pack up their things and prepare to travel to the place from Amy's nightmares. At the airport, however, we learn that Homie doesn't have the $56,000 in fuel money needed to pay for the flight. Because of this, we need to split the fare with Karen like some kind of intercontinental rideshare simply to get to Africa. Amy isn't happy about it.
Ugly woman.
Yes.
But that's only because she has a maternal instinct and gets jealous whenever Peter shows any other female attention. Even if it isn't positive, as Peter calls Karen ugly while she tells him and the martini-drinking ape that they belong in a circus. Upon arriving in the Congo, we meet Eddie Ventro, whose money hairs stand up on the back of his neck when he hears the gorilla talking. There's currently a civil war going on, but Eddie and the tour guide Captain Monroe acts like everything is just dandy. He just carjacks some soldier's truck and loads the tourists into the back like this is a normal way to get a vehicle. Monroe assumes that this lot are using the cigar-smoking gorilla as a cover to steal diamonds, just like every other person who visits this country. They're captured by the local military and taken to Captain Wana, who wants a bribe to let these Americans plunder his precious homeland. He offers them some sesame cake, but then shouts at Homie for eating some and has him thrown outside while calling him a
liar, liar, your pants on fire.
While Karen throws him some of that sweet Travis calm cash, Peter and Richard are interrogated but allowed to leave when determined to be just nerds. The team drive all night and reach a checkpoint by morning where the group board another plane chartered by Eddie. Deputy Kahega has brought along 11 heavily armed soldiers paid for by Travis to assist his employee with whatever she needs. Monroe reveals that Homie had already led an expedition in search of the lost city, which explains how he has the ring. His whole team died from exposure to the harsh environment, and I think he almost drops an N-bomb in his frustration.
Shut up, you filthy...
Holding it in, we continue on with the journey by taking a cargo plane filled with primates and bananas into the jungle. Suddenly a rebel group shoot them out of the sky with heat-seeking missiles, as this whole place is just one problem after another. Apparently they teach you to shoot rockets out of the sky with flare guns, and the CIA, so along with Monroe, killer Karen defends the plane. Once everybody has parachutes, they leap out the door or get kicked out, your choice, and descend down to the jungle before the plane explodes. Monroe was made to carry Amy for some reason, and it's only now does Peter try to call off the expedition because it's too dangerous. Unless he has another plane in his back pocket, they're walking, but Amy doesn't seem to mind as she's distracted by her natural habitat. The group set up camp and Karen contacts Travis in Houston with the same type of video feed that Charlie was using. Amy comes playfully running past and knocks over the equipment, so now Travis thinks that he's lost 2 teams to these damn gorillas. He's almost right, as the team spends the night fighting against the elements and almost getting washed down the mountain by flash floods. In the morning, Peter wakes up with a leech on his pecker and needs to use Monroe's cigar to burn it off. One Johnson saved. Later they come in contact with members of a peaceful tribe who laugh when hearing that a black man is leading them and not carrying the bags. They bring our group to the rest of the tribe, who are praying one of the members of the previous expedition back to life. He wasn't really dead but in a catatonic state of shock until he gets so terrified at the sight of Amy that he literally screams himself to death. Moving on from that and presumably leaving the body behind, the team pull out some inflatable rafts and float down the river. While heading towards their destination, Homie explains that he believes Amy has seen the lost city, which is why she draws images of the eye. He thinks with Peter's technology she can tell them the way to King Solomon's mine, but they're being stalked by something in the water. When it gets dark, a giant hippopotamus emerges and eats a guy, possibly two, before Monroe scares it away with a bullet to the face. Getting out of that water as fast as possible, the group elects to walk the rest of the way, but they immediately witness another cargo plane shot down by rebels and crash into the jungle for a later moment in the movie. For now, our team scale the volcano and by morning set up camp on the side of the mountain where Peter puts the device on Amy.
This way.
Our paid guide gets replaced by an ape as she directs the team to her place of birth and the first sighting of a wild friendly gorilla. The primatologist keeps looking at it directly in the eyes, but the gorilla backs away just like the smarter humans did the moment they saw it. Amy tries to introduce herself in English, but they all just leave, making her feel like she doesn't belong here with her own kind. She leads them to the previous crew's campsite, but everything is missing and the bodies have been taken through an overgrown tunnel. They follow it to discover the lost city and the very place that Herkermer Homolka has searched for his entire life.
The eyes.
The yellow eyes come from a giant statue on the temple, but a concerned Amy recognizes it as the object from her nightmares. The group walk around the ruins until finding part of Charlie's Hershey wrapper where he was snatched by the eyeball tosser. They enter to find a hallway lined with Egyptian-style hieroglyphics repeating on the walls that say, "We are watching you." Unfortunately, this place is a dead end when the temple begins to rumble as the volcano awakens and spews out a toxic cloud. Waiting outside are Richard and a porter named Claude, who goes searching for Amy until coming face to face with one of the gray gorillas. It technically kills Richard off screen, but he doesn't actually die until after running back to the rest of the team covered in blood. The killer gorilla rounds the corner and throws what I assume is Claude's head at the group before charging full speed. But the framerate drops and everything gets blurry to feign suspense as it claws Monroe's arm before being shot by Karen. Everyone flees the temple before the gorilla's cousins arrive, and there's another dead guy outside, which is a good sign to leave. Instead, we set up camp for the night and Karen installs automated turrets that fire on the gorillas when they approach the perimeter. There's also a dozen lasers scattered around the place, and the group holds out all night while the aggressive primates even bring down trees trying to get inside. By morning, the gorillas have retreated, so the group pack up their things and leave, but Amy has wandered off to try and ingratiate with her kind. She hears the volcano start to rumble even more, so runs back to camp but finds it empty as the team has begun to backtrack through the city. They find more hieroglyphics depicting the gray gorillas being bred into existence to guard the mine until overthrowing their creators. A pile of gorilla bones in the center of the room suggests that they also kill their own kind when a quake causes the ground to collapse under the group. It reveals a hidden chamber that leads to the entrance of King Solomon's mine that's a big open-air cavern easily visible by any helicopter flying over. The ground is scattered with massive diamonds, so Homie goes around collecting fistfuls, not noticing that all of the caves around them are kennels for the apes. Dozens of angry gray gorillas come out in full force to defend the precious minerals, so the team open fire and are too busy to save Homie. He gets beaten to death along with everyone else except for Peter, Karen, and Monroe, who retreat into the mine for their last stand. Just inside the entrance is a giant diamond geode where they hold off the great apes and watch their whole team bashed to death. Or in Cahega's case, it looks like a large group eat him alive at the same time. At the back of the mine, Karen finds Charlie's corpse with a laser from the beginning, so shoves a diamond inside of the laser, not Charlie. As this is happening, a gorilla grabs Peter and throws him to the group, but before they can kill him, Amy arrives wearing the tech.
Ugly gorilla.
She protects Peter with the same maternal instincts that she shows her plushie, but it's more confusion of an English-speaking gorilla that has the others frozen. Before they wise up, Karen leaps out and fires the laser at the gray gorilla, separating limb from body or just causing some general chaos. Along with Monroe, they collect Peter and Amy on their way out of the ravine as the volcano erupts and fills the mine with molten lava. It runs through the ravine, consuming the whole aggressive gorilla species, while the survivors make it outside and flee down the mountain. While running through the collapsing city and avoiding the streets of flowing lava, Peter and Amy are separated from the others. The ground's all broken up, so with a large gap between them, Karen uses the laser to cut down a tree, making a bridge. Amy and Peter climb across and they all make it out of the city and descend to the plane crash from earlier, where they find a hot air balloon. Now at a safe distance, Monroe gets it set up while Karen contacts Travis with the satellite to inform him that Charles is dead. He cares more about if she found the diamonds than his own son, so Karen programs a laser to target his multi-million-dollar satellite and destroy it in space. Meanwhile, Peter thanks Amy for saving him, but she wants to remain in Africa as the good gorillas have accepted her into the troop. She gives him a flower, then sets off into the wild with her new family while Peter, Karen and Monroe balloon back to civilization. As they're floating along, Karen pulls the diamond from the laser and Peter throws it away while Amy watches them disappear into the distance. And the movie ends.